Alright, so I'm going to go show you guys while we walk around looking at the bug. How it turned out, it actually turned out pretty darn amazing for a semi-quick paint job. You know, I went through, some of you guys saw, I stripped this car in a couple of days and went through and did all the body work in another, I think I probably got about a week and a half in this thing total, from with the body work and everything, and paint and buffing to this point. So, but I'm going to talk to you guys real quick about what I did to buff it and make it look like this. I only use Menzerna pretty much. I was demoing some of the other products, but I really wanted to see what this Menzerna 400 was about. So we're going to take a look at that real quick. So there's a couple waves in it, but it most part it should be looking really nice outside. If I could put this car up next to a show car, it'd probably fit right in with the group. And I'm going to show you real quick the products that I used. Now, okay, so I tried the 400 and the 1000, which I usually use the 1000, and a lot of guys are saying the 400 is a little bit faster cutting, and it is initially, but what I found is to try and, you know, when you, after you start polishing with the 400, you start to kind of lose where the sanding scratches are. Now, again, I was going over really rough sandpaper. I got lazy. I didn't feel like doing the 2000 thing. So I went through here and did it with 1200 flat on the DA with no foam pads or anything. And so I had some chasers to knock out with this and pretty much got them all out. I really don't see much of anything other than, you know, pretty darn perfect look and finish. If this was a darker color, you'd probably see some of the chasers. I mean, I'd have to just work them out, you know, just take a little more time. But, or I'd have went with 2000, perfect, pretty much for sure. But what I did find out is by using the 400, if you use the 400 and you just make one solid pass with it, and then immediately, without switching with the lamb's wool pad, without switching the pad or cleaning the pad or anything, go right to the 1000 and then finish that area. So let's say I was working this whole area. I would just work this whole area real quick with one pass of 400. Okay, one quick pass. I'd go over everything. Might not even have all the sanding clouds out, all the scratches, but for some reason that opens it up really good for using the 1000, and then the 1000 even cuts faster. So if I found if I just kept going with the 400, it actually took longer than if I switched to the 1000. So and the 400 did a little bit faster job of the first initial opening it up. So if you guys are using 400, you might want to grab some 1000 or even 2500. I don't know, I haven't tried that one, but you might want to grab some 1000 to, and it's no big deal, because basically all you need is just to have two bottles sitting there, and then just use the 400, drop it on your pad, go ahead and do the area on your lamb's wool, and then switch to the 1000. After you do make your first initial pass, run over with the 1000, do your second time with that, and all of a sudden you'll just go, wow, that just comes out real, and it's easier to see the parts where you miss with the 1000. That's my biggest complaint with the 400. It's a little bit hard to see where you miss stuff. So with the 1000, you have no trouble at all finding those areas. So like I said, if you guys are using the 400, you might want to just grab a 1000, throw it in the mix of it. I would say it sped up the process about 10 to 15%. So that's a lot of time, you know, and it doesn't really cost you any more money because you're still using an inexpensive product. I mean, Menzerna compared to using Cremex is quite a bit less expensive. Like I said, the finish comes out about the same. So it just, but if I was in a body shop, I wouldn't be as worried about the cost as you guys are doing stuff at home. So anyway, if you're using Menzerna and you're using 400, grab a 1000. You won't be disappointed with this idea. It really does go faster, because it's just like this theory. If you've ever sanded Bondo or something, let's say you're using AG47 filler, and you've sand it with 80 grit, and you're going, man, this stuff doesn't sand any better than my other stuff. But then you switch to 150, and it just takes it down quick. The finer compound actually is faster acting on the finish. I don't know why, but it is. So, but for the initial cut, just doing that first pass, just going over it one time, the 400 opens it up a little bit faster so that the 1000 could do its job a little bit faster. So maybe that's the way it's designed. Maybe Menzerna made them that way. I don't know. But you don't need to clean your pad between it, so it doesn't take you any more time to do. So anyway, and then I went directly with the 4000, which I also have 4500 of them. I'm going to try that next. And then just made the final pass with, actually I did the final pass with the foam, then I switched to the foam. I went over it once with 1000, and then I didn't clean my pad again, and I went right to the 4000. And like I said, the 1000 finish is, I mean, I don't even know if I don't think I used on the roof. I didn't use the 4000, and I don't think you can really tell the difference. It's very little different, because the 1000 is almost a one polish finish. So but on the hood I used the 4000 afterwards. So what I did is and I've tried this with cleaning the pad and everything else, and it doesn't really make that much difference. But if you're doing like a show car black or something like that, you might want to clean your pad between finishes. It might be helpful to do that, because you're going to spend a lot of time buffing that. So on a light color like this, it doesn't make any difference at all. All right, so anyway, that's a little shortcut for you guys. Here's how the bug looks. We're going to walk around, take a quick look. Getting ready to assemble it right now. I took off some of made another video on taking the glue off. That worked really fantastic. Orange oil is the trick. I mean, a lot of you guys think that orange oil is in the orange cleaner. It doesn't have that much of it. You can't really use orange cleaner. You got to use orange oil, like pretty pure, to get that sticky stuff off. And didn't damage the finish at all, but I did rebuff those areas a little bit, because they just turned out, for some reason, a little bit, kind of clouded it up just a little bit. And you can see this car looks pretty darn nice. This turned out really good finish. The bodywork looks pretty straight, and it's pretty amazing, because I blew through this thing like nothing. I literally did the bodywork in probably 2 days. So, except for this quarter, which was pretty badly damaged, and some of the stuff I did in the front, maybe the hood in this quarter, maybe a third day between those. So 3 days on the bodywork, and then of course I spent another day stripping it. Only took me a whole day to strip the car. Doesn't take that long. And that's including the jams and everything. So about a week and a half for just playing around at the house. Not, I'm not trying to do this for a living at all. If I was, I'd be broke. Wouldn't make any money. So we'll take a look at that. It's going to look really nice. We're going to go black interior with this color, black beading, black running boards, and that just works really well with this color. So I saw another car like that, and I just liked the way it looked. And there's very few of them. I think this is Fontana Gray, but I don't know. I mean, it's not Savannah Beige, and it's lighter than Savannah Beige, and that's the color from the inside. If you can see, there's still some paint, original paint, right there in the middle of the door. So you can see we matched it pretty good. Pretty good match to the original paint, so it's not that far off. Alright, so I can't wait to get this one outside. Got a little touch up to do. Got some stuff. When we get it all together, we'll nick it up a little bit, and then we'll fix it and get it looking really nice, and get out in the sun. We'll take some more videos of it, get it assembled up. If I run into any other little things I want to make videos on, I'll be making them as I go, like on the interior parts and stuff like that. The headliner's in it, but still got some wrinkles. Probably gonna have to work on that a little bit more, get some of those out, if I can. I don't really care, I just get them as best I can. I actually messed up when I did the headliner. If you do a headliner in one of these, you start from the front, and in the front here, and you work your way to the back. And what I did is I actually put this part on first instead of the front. You should put on the front first, pull it tight, and then pull everything and work your way back, pulling it this direction as you go to pull it, and then, you know, clamp it, pull it, clamp it, pull it, clamp it. Then when you get to the back, then leave your thing out nice and far so that, you know, you're opening pretty far back. Don't cut it until you pull it tight, and then put it on here. And then because what happens is you end up with wrinkles right here in the corners. So, but it's no big thing. I don't really care. Nobody really looks up that much. The back's gonna look pretty good. Got that one wrinkle that'll come right out of there once I heat it up. Haven't even tried yet. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys in the next video.